Hi everyone, welcome to this video. This is a video of my now 5-year-old Parker, a journey video. I'm sorry it's so long, so I'm going to chat through it and kind of let you know what I'm doing throughout the video. So this is him, obviously, when I got him, and then a couple of pictures just for the intro of kind of like recent pictures, I guess. This was my first time seeing Parker. He got herded off the trailer into the yard, into this pen, and yeah, as you can see, he's very scruffy. This is December, this is the end of his 3-year-old year, and November, this might be November actually, because he came to the yard a week before I bought him. I knew I liked him because I owned his full sister and she sold. So yeah, this is him. He's very scraggy. He'd not been badly done to or anything. He was just a young horse out in the field, and I think in a shed to start with. And this is the first time I seen him, and he was pretty much unhandled. We got the head collar on him the second day and a rug, and he was very good. Like, he seemed very civil from the start. He teased as a 2-year-old, so we thought he might be quite cool-ish because he was gelded a little bit late. I'm sorry I don't have the dates on these, so I'll try. This is like the first week with him at this point. We were just starting to get to know each other, and actually part of the deal, my boss, he bought him off the man for me, and if I hadn't liked him he was going to keep him. So yeah, he actually backed him for me. The horrible pulled me in. So I did do a little bit of work as well. I long reined him in between times and played with him, and Rosie nearly getting kicked. So this is obviously Christmas time. So let's just say this is before Christmas because we have tinsel, and I remember he was awful with us at the start. Like, I was going to put some in the head collar and he was like, no, that is not happening. I think this was the first time loose jumping, just for a bit of fun. He always had a good technique in front, always very brave that sort of way. He just loves to play after fences still, as you'll see at the end of this video. So yeah, as I said before, I didn't back him. The guy in the yard, Ray, backed him, and they had him for a couple of weeks and walked and trotted him just up and down the yard, as you can see. That's how we start all of mine, and look how weak and baby-like he is. This is me long reining him up the back lane from the yard. It was nice to be able to do bits and bobs with him in between times. This is my first time ever sitting on him. So he had maybe been sat on for 4 or 5 times before this. So this was quite a nice moment. It was the start of January of 2019. So yeah, it was a lovely feeling. That's Martin, my boss / yard owner. I'm actually not at this yard at the minute, but I still work there. So yeah, this is my first time sitting on him. He's just rising 4 at this point. And you can already see he's changed a lot from the November to January. And this is my first trot on him. I thought he was going to buck me off there, but he decided to be good. He actually was never he was actually not that bad as a youngster. He never really bucked at the start. That's my second time on him. I had a clip. He wasn't that good for this clip. He was quite shy. But yep, Ali, why are you pulling me in the mouth? This is just where we back our horses. I wouldn't recommend maybe riding that close to other horses on a youngster, but we get on all the youngsters inside, so it was safer just to get on in there and then walk out. This is me trotting him up. I actually watched this and can't believe how big his trot is now when I watch back on the young stuff, because he looks so pottery. So this was my second ride on him. I've got most clips of my rides on him when he was younger. All I really done, we trot all of ours outside on the hard ground before we go into the arenas. And I actually don't really know why I was trotting him up. Maybe for the fun of it. Look at the state of me. Okay, look at the horse, please, look at the horse. I need to make sure it's still filming. It is. First ever canter under saddle, and I did it on him. And I remember coming up that day and be like, oh my goodness, his canter's so big. And we are very lucky to have that little half gallop to start them on. It's very good to get them straight and canter. So this is our first jump on the same day. I think I was feeling bold. Parker would have been long reined over all these before. Martin, the guy that broke him, long reins everything, all the young horses over all these before we jumped them. So yeah, he's having a little bit of I'm not doing that, but like, I just sit there and just say, come on, you can walk over this, it's not that big. So yeah, we jump all of ours over cross country fences before show jumps. Actually, it's just what we do. And yeah, I was over the moon this day. He was so natural, very scopy. He was lovely to sit on from word go. He always had a very funny mouth at the start. Maybe not at this point, but soon, I think in these clips here, he starts to tuck below into like a roller position, where he just overbent the whole time. He was so light, and I've never really had that. Usually my horses would be quite strong on the bit. This was us jumping the bigger side of the cross country. I don't actually know when these are. This is just all in order from when I had these. It looks like I jump them a lot. I really don't. I think if I ever got anyone to video, it was the days that I was doing anything half decent on them, not just pottering down the lane. I did quite a lot of hacking. Pretty sure this was like the start of my arena work on him. I really just played hacking and on the gallops and stuff for a long time. He's very natural. He was never tied in. He always naturally rode on the bit, nearly too well. This is his first like coloured fences, and he was very good. I think my friend Beth from England was over at this point, and we were both like, let's just give him a little jump over the poles. I start all of mine in trot as well, especially something like him who has such a big canter. It's just personal preference, and look how game he is. Like, I wouldn't do that on every 4-year-old, but he was just like, yep. He just takes everything on. I love him to pieces. Always very natural in front, and there's me trying to get him to canter. I think that's my first time cantering to a fence, and he ballooned it, but that was messy. So I think it's very important for young horses to have time to be young horses. So I would have hand grazed him a lot in the winter, even whenever the fields weren't open. We're not very lucky here in Ireland to have fields all year round. We must have had a bit of snow this day. But I love his mane in this clip, actually. It's very nice. Yeah, these are the clips that he starts to really tuck his head behind the vertical. He jumps incredible this day, I think. But I remember putting a video up on YouTube of this and getting a lot of hate on it about him. But this is very much him doing that. Oh gosh, Ali, that was a little bit ropey. Horse jumps big, go forward with him. Did I just put that clip in twice? I did. Oh, I love this clip here. It's like unbelievable. He's always giving you such a nice feeling over a fence. So yeah. So at this point, I had a rotational fall of a pony out hunting, and ended up in hospital, knocked out, and had a bleed in my brain and a bruised liver, and a collapsed lung, and a massive gash on my chin. So I had to have like a month and a half off horses. But yeah, I still went up and lunged and played. Two girls at the yard, Lisa and Gemma, they looked after him for me the days I couldn't get up if I was not feeling the best. So yeah, he was pretty much had a really easy time, which was good for him because he was still a baby, just lunging and going out in the back pen just to have a run about and be a horse. And this is an awful quality video, but it's of one that Gemma had sent me of Lisa mucking him out and him chilling. I thought it was quite cute. So yeah, he had a lovely little break just being a horse for a couple of weeks, and I had a little break trying to recover. It took me like a year actually to recover from that, but thankfully I didn't lose any confidence. So yeah, he became, this was my first ride back. No, not my first ride back, my first ride back on him after my fall. I didn't fall off him. It was a pony, a young horse out from work. So, of course, in great Ali fashion, I decided to jump him. This was my first time jumping since my rotational fall, and I fell out hunting over a log. So yeah, this is the first time jumping these ditches, and Parker's reaction to anything, if he doesn't like it, is just to back up, and like he doesn't do anything with it. He won't rear up or he won't be silly about it. He just goes back really fast. So all I want at this point is for him to go forward, and he goes into the forward motion and jumps it a little bit too enthusiastically. And this time was a little bit less enthusiastic and a little bit more realistic. Very lucky to have all this at the yard he was at previously. It's very good for young horses. Like at this point, he hasn't been out of the yard. This is us having a loose jump, him having a loose jump, not us. And like unbelievable. He's always been such a natural jumper. I was very lucky to find something like him, so scruffy and not very expensive. So yeah, this is kind of like when he starts to be quite enjoy his jumping. I think he's starting to take me forward. His ears are forward. He's looking for the fence. He kind of knows what he's doing. Again, still tucking his head behind the vertical, starting to play a little bit after the fences now and again. But yeah, and then I would have loose lunged him quite a lot, just in the head collar. I didn't actually ride him that many days, maybe 4 days a week. and he was a bit of a Houdini for a while, opening doors and trying to escape. But yeah, so this is Parker's first time. This was like his break. He went out for a month or two to a different yard. Oh, that horse just touched the electric. So he went out to a different yard just to be a horse and mature, and then this is him back in a month later with his really scruffy mane. But he's starting to get more handsome, and this is the fields at the yard who just went out just for a couple of hours every day then, so it's nice to keep that up, and he's very excited. And Rosie, the dog, if you notice, is in these clips quite a lot. We're kind of obsessed with each other, so wherever I am, Rosie is, and wherever Rosie is, I am. And there is a very handsome Parker. So this would be summertime. I think this is maybe June or July. And yes, I have pink hair. Don't judge me. It was the biggest mistake of my life. It wasn't meant to end up like that. But just because he'd come back in and he's still young, I just long-reined him for a couple of days before I got back on him. And that's me longing in the haylage field. If Martin saw me, he would probably kill me. But what he doesn't know won't hurt him. He put on a lot of weight this time. He was quite hard to get weight on at the start, but that's just a young horse. He just was growing and put it all into growing instead of putting weight on. And this is him loose jumping over the log. I don't know how Martin does it. He does this with every horse before we ride them. I don't know how he does it because I could hardly keep up. So yeah, this is me back riding, giving him a jump. As you can see, he's getting a lot more cocky and loving life a little bit more, and I'm starting to go, oh god, please don't bump me off because I will not be able to sit to you. And this is me completely missing him and him saving my butt and actually jumping it pretty impressively, and this is very impressive. He just was incredible. So at this point now, he's come back in from his break. He's stronger, he's had a chance to mature and think about what he learned when he was broken. So I have started being able to canter to fences. Before, his canter was just so long and it would have broke any time I asked him to shorten, so that's why I trot it to the fences quite a lot. So this is him doing his first grids, and I think this was a new filler, and he was like, oh my god, Ali, that's a little bit scary, and I didn't ride him very well. I should have had a better trot. But as in great Parker fashion, he's very honest, and he came round and jumped it the second time. So these were new fillers in the yard that he had never seen before, and he took to them pretty well. And there's me trying to get a canter on him and finding it very difficult. So this is Parker's first show. I think this is August possibly. So yeah, he had done from January. He hadn't been out of the yard. He had only ever done stuff in the yard. But the yard he was at was very good for that. There was cross-country fences and a full set of jumps, so you didn't really have to go anywhere. So by this stage, I think this is the 80 class, he was ready just to go straight in and do a little bit. And I think we canter most of this course. This was the 80, as I said. There's me missing him. Maybe I should have just let him go. But very honest, very easy to ride. He's always been pretty easy, and I just love riding him. He's like the nicest horse I've ever ridden, and sometimes I'm like, how is this my horse? I'm so lucky. I don't get scared on him. I go somewhere and I actually get excited, whereas I can get quite nervous at shows and enjoy it when I watch it back, but don't enjoy it at the time, whereas on him I just enjoy it. So this is my second show. But I think he's maybe been out between times because his winter coat's through. That's a very drastic change from, I think I done one show on him and then put him out again. He was in for a month and went out for another month. I think that's the way I worked it because I was making the most of the summer and trying to get him out as much to mature because I knew he'd be in most of the winter. So yeah, this is the 9th day, I think. He actually goes up to the metre by the end of his first year jumping, which is pretty good, and he didn't do an awful lot of shows. Not just a baby moment. Could not care less about poles when they're young. Don't really care anytime. Doesn't really bother me. First cross country. This day I was so happy. For anyone that maybe followed me in the past, I used to event, and it's something I'd love to do again. So to feel how well he took to it was amazing. So at this point I have the Accavallo sensitive young horse bit in him. It's a very small plastic bit and he loved it. And it was, you could see still poking behind the vertical on landing and stuff, but he's generally better and starting to mature. Sometimes you just have to let a horse work that out himself. I wasn't going to start pulling his head up and making him, if he found his balance by tucking his head in, I was letting him for a long time. Just to, he's a young horse. He's not strong enough to hold himself. Look at him jumping. He's incredible. How is this horse mine? He just ears forward, loves his job. So yeah, Parker will be evented at some point, probably just for fun. That's all I want to do on him, is have fun. and this is him jumping into the water, and I think my phone died straight after, so it kind of ends abruptly. So don't know if he had been out again or back in, but this is him and my youngster TJ. He wouldn't be much of a stopper, but anything that he's done I've just put in here. I think that's quite a scary fence, a rainbow filler and a water tray, but as you can see, like once he gets used to it, he, you know, doesn't think about it at all. That was probably a little bit me, I was probably nervous. There he is being cute. He is such an affectionate horse. It's unfortunate through this video I've kind of put a lot of riding in, not a lot of him, because he is the biggest character. He is hilarious. So this is finally at a different venue. This is at a place called the Meadows, which I love, and he went straight into the 90 this day and was clear, apart from the fact that I missed the fence. But I've kind of just put the better clips in of this, not the better clip, I've just kind of put in some clips of this, as this video is going to be too long if I put full days of every day I rode him into the video. So yeah, I missed that fence, I didn't even put it in. And as you can see, he's starting to get stronger, he's more balanced, he isn't just as overbent. He has the bib martingale because he's a little monkey and will try bite running martingale, and I had a horse rear over on top of me before from that, so I'm very cautious of it. He's been very natural with his flying changes ever since he got stronger in his canter, and it's something that I had never was able to get with Cass, so to have it so naturally with him, it's so nice. And he loved this day. He was a little bit like humpy, but nothing bad, just having fun, just a young horse having fun. And I thought this wasn't recording, I was going to die. So yeah, you can see he's starting to get confident with his cantering. He got under that fence but he still jumped it, and having a scratch. I just love spending time with this horse. He is the nicest horse I've ever owned. He was meant to be a project, and I had a lot of offers on him last year, and I wouldn't sell, and everyone told me I was stupid, and I don't care because he's mine. This was our first sprint hunter. He actually won this day. I dropped him down in class because it was the first time jumping inside. So this was the 80 class. By this stage I think he was maybe jumping 90s and maybe the odd meter. And this was him getting his rosette. He was probably he's not really a working hunter type, he's a little bit too fine. But yeah, he won. And then this was a couple of weeks later, me having a heart attack, blowing my cheeks. This is me at a away show in a place called Cavan. This was the first day, and he was there for 3 days and jumped one class every day. So this is the 90, he went clear this day and was very good. Didn't really jump overly fantastic, like very flashy or anything, but I don't care as long as he jumps them. For a young horse, he was very relaxed at the show. This, I think, up to date, maybe even still, is one of the best rounds he ever jumped. This was his first meter that he went in without having jumped another course before, and he was double clear. And like the feeling he gave me, and a professional rider came up at the end of this class and asked me if I'd sell him, and it was the nicest feeling. Like, even though I don't want to sell him, and sometimes feel like I should, because like at the end of the day I bought him as a project, I love this horse, and yeah, I don't feel like I want to sell him anytime soon. So yeah, this is his first little trick. He learned how to smile. Anyone who would have watched me in the past would have known that I enjoy stuff like that. And first time at the beach, he was actually very good, but I lost pretty much all these clips. I think there's some on Instagram, but I couldn't find the rest of them, so that's just one simple little clip. This is me getting a photo shoot with my amazing friend Tori. She is an incredible photographer, but she took a couple of videos as well. And no, the pictures turned out like out of this world. They're like my favourite pictures for probably ever. I don't know when this was. It was definitely maybe October, November time. I don't know, it's definitely near the end of 2019. Look at that ripped rug, and that was not a horse, that was a mouse. It ate it. There's like so many mice in that yard, and it bloody ate my nice rug. So yeah, as I said, Parker's character is pretty funny. He is such a nice horse. So I mean, he's so nice to ride, he has an incredible jump, he's lovely to ride in the flat, and he's such a nice character. Oh, this got mixed up. This is him being quite bold. He's got very bold in his recent times. This is my last jump at my current yard before I moved back to my original yard that I was at a couple of years ago, just a little bit closer to home, and the livery price went up and TJ was coming in and I just couldn't really afford it anymore. But I still work at that yard. It's nice to have them separate actually now. So he must have been clipped again, and he's feeling and looking absolutely incredible. Like the pictures still from this day, I'm like wow, because the sun in that arena and the view is incredible. It's very cold on a windy day because it's on a hill, but like so picturesque, and he just looks amazing. So this is just this year, actually. This is January, and I guess this is kind of my year. I had him a year in December. I bought him 2 weeks after he came to the yard. So yeah, I had him 2 weeks in December, and then this is just kind of aftermath. This was meant to be a year video, but it didn't work because I was too lazy. And as I said before, the sunsets and sun in this yard are just incredible. So this is his second working hunter course, and his first show back in a while. I didn't really jump him much for the last month or two of 2019. So I remember being quite nervous. I jumped the 90 on him this day, and as you can see, he was jumping out of his skin, and he was very fresh that day. His show was a little bit excited, so he actually came second that day, which was good, and was jumping amazing. Oh my god, I remember after this thinking, oh my word, this horse is getting so much stronger and so much nicer to ride. His back end has just built up, and sunset again. But I just love this boy so much. If it's not obvious. And actually, the more I watch this video, I'm like, this is actually as long as, oh my god, that clip is very blurry. This is maybe, it doesn't feel long when you're watching it because it's like a journey video, but this is nearly 30 minutes long. But yeah, the sunsets up here are beautiful. And I only live 3 minutes from this yard, so if it's a really nice evening, I can just hop up. So this is Barker at his first like arena eventing, and I kind of put him in the deep end because I knew, this is awful, but I knew I wouldn't be back again because it's like an hour and a half away. So I put him straight into the meter. The only cross country he's done is the one previously in this video, and whatever he's done at Martin's yard. So, you know, it was quite a big ask for him. He had a little look at that, don't really care. As you can see, he was genuinely scared of it. He wasn't doing it in badness. So just approached again. These two fences are this is number 4 and the next one is number 5. So I thought I'll give it a go, and if he doesn't like the look of the skinny, I will just reapproach, which I had to do. But like, that doesn't bother me at all. He's genuinely confused. He's never done a dog leg before. He's never jumped fences really like this before. So yeah, that's why I wanted to do this course, because of the point-to-point fence. I really wanted to jump it. So yeah, I've been selfish. But it was actually the best thing for Parker, because he was starting to get a little bit bored with his jumping and not really listening to me. So making him have to have me to help him actually made him a little less cocky the next show out. So this is actually just a little bit flat at home with some nice bandages. And he's just getting so much stronger and so much nicer to ride. This is me playing with Parker and TJ, and I'm so lucky he didn't kick out there because I would have been dead. But yeah, that's what it's about, having fun with your horse. And yeah, some snow videos. And yeah, this is Parker trying to get me off. I don't actually think he was trying to get me off. This was just him starting to feel fresh. He's so fresh at the minute. This was only like maybe a month ago. And he's just sporting and having fun, but I was like, oh my word, how did I stay on? I had no stirrups, and he was just having a ball, and then I did it again, but not as bad the next time. He just has gotten to this point. I said to my mum a couple of times, I watched him loose jumping when I first got him, I was like, he's going to be the type when he's stronger that he'll buck after a fence. And yeah, he was, and there's me not riding forward enough into a bounce. So yeah, feeling at the end, but yeah, he did it. I've started introducing him to a lot more grids and stuff now, to try and keep his mind more active. And yeah, his jump is so different now than it was. Like, he still tucks his head in, but he's so much more like, I don't know, he's just incredible. That wasn't very good. So this is my first SJI show of this year, and probably my last because of the coronavirus. You guys will all be feeling it too, but it's not all about competing at the end of the day. But it was a bit gutting because I just got out, and the SJI naturally makes me more nervous because it's like affiliated. I don't know why, and it's on paper and everything, and I don't know, I just get so much more nervous. So he done the 90 a meter that day. He had the last fence down in the 90 and clear in the meter. So yeah, I don't know what the next show we'll get out to. This is us like a couple of weeks ago, just doing some pole work. Actually a really fun exercise, but cool to do on a horse. I think I have a video up on my Instagram if you want to check it out. as I said, I'm just doing a lot more pole work and grid work, and he would be quite hard on his left rein to get to turn, so he actually really struggled with this little exercise here. It took me a couple of times to actually just get him to know what it was all about, but that's what it's all about. He's hard on his left rein and we're trying to rectify that, and I actually enjoy doing that over poles rather than just in a circle. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do this here little canter pole exercise again. It was so much fun. It made me so motivated. In the winter sometimes I can get a little bit like, oh, just want to get on my horse, ride it for 20 minutes and get off. So this was like last week, my last time out with him away from home, before everything closed. This is just training. He's very strong, didn't put the fences up too much. He's probably actually ready for 110s now, but like he's only 5. I don't want to rush him, and he'll go out now in the summer. As soon as the fields open up in about 2 or 3 weeks time, he will go out for a break again. So this is my first time jumping in with a hackamore, and he was very good. I actually really like it on him. I'm going to use it for a little while. I tried the Dr. Cook's on him the next day and it wasn't as nice, so this is the actual hackamore. But his jump felt so much nicer. He was so much more fluent through his shoulder. His canter was less upright. Coming to the fence, he was more level, like his head is poked out, his nose is poked out, and he's not just overbent. Coming to the fence, he would be very bouncy in a bit, and it's something that a lot of people would like, but I don't really like because I'm so used to a horse being quite fluent in its canter and not very upright. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. The next clips you'll see after this are of me jumping him yesterday. I thought I'd leave the audio in for these ones and just let you hear how much we enjoy all of this. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this and enjoy the next clips of Park and having a ball.
You have to watch him, he would buck off the fence.